Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Happy Friday. I'm Jay Zawoski with Greg Boyson and Mario Tirabassi. There hasn't been a game in a few days.
What are we supposed to do with ourselves?
I don't know what day of the week it is half the time.
I was just going to say that. When you said Happy Friday, I was like, thanks for reminding me it's Friday.
I had no idea it was Friday.
It's hockey season, and I have no idea what day it is anymore. I just know, is it a game day? Is it just practice? Or is it nothing? And today was a nothing day.
Just tell me what time I need to be where, please. Mm-hmm. So you guys know, like, we go through our like little log of ads we do, and it's like show 1 through show 5, and the last few days we've been like, what show is this? What day is this? Is it Monday? Is it Friday? We have no idea, but all we know is there's hockey to talk about, and we're going to do it. Do us a favor before we get started. Smash that like button on YouTube for us. Make sure you subscribe to that YouTube page as well. Podcast listeners, make sure you're following and subscribed, and please take 30 seconds to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That goes a really, really long way, so we would greatly appreciate that. So let's start with the news of the day. The Hawks just least, off the ice.
Are we all caught up on sleep?
Yeah, I slept till 11:30 yesterday. I haven't done that forever.
I'm never caught up on sleep.
Then I went to my parents' house, and my dad's like, you look tired. Like, thank you. No, you look old. Bite me.
I had to get up early yesterday because my better half gets up early for work, and then I was up and awake. I got some stuff accomplished, and then I took a nice long nap on the couch. Nice. But then didn't get dinner in the oven early enough, so we had to wait long enough.
Yeah. Oh man. You know, I'm as caught up as I can be with a 2-year-old at home. So.
Yeah, fair.
I'm never caught up. I always feel I can use more sleep.
There's always more sleep available. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. All right, so we got some news coming from practice today. First and foremost, good news is what looked like Taylor Hall was going to be a week-to-week thing, is what Luke said after the last game. On the ice this morning, not practicing full contact, full speed or anything, but looks like it'll be more of a day-to-day thing than a week-to-week thing for Taylor Hall.
Great news.
Which is huge. That's really good news for the Hawks. He will not play tomorrow. We know that for sure. But it looks like he's closer than we thought he would be.
Yeah. The last time we were talking about Taylor Hall and his injury, it was the week-to-week. We were thinking, Connor Garland might be nice to replace him with. And, all the lineup questions, at least now we know, probably shouldn't have to worry too much about it.
Yeah, and that's good news for the Hawks. That's really good news for Connor Bedard because, while Bedard is good enough to create his own offense out there, having a guy like Taylor Hall is really good for Connor Bedard.
Yeah,
and there's nobody else on that roster you really can have the same effect and get other teams worried about like Taylor Hall. There was talk, and it sounded like maybe Lucas Reichel. He got a little bit of time there. But if it's only going to be 1 or 2 games, keep Lucas Reichel at center, if that's what you believe he's going to be. So, yeah, it's good for everybody. Now, Taylor Radish was on that line this morning. Mm-hmm. That's a guy we all predicted would be on that line from day one.
Yeah,
in Ryan Donato's spot.
Right. That, of course, with Taylor Hall, not Ryan Donato. And a lot of people were kind of half and half on Ryan Donato. Ryan Donato, outside of faceoffs, has been really good on that line. Mm-hmm. Really good.
And the Hawks do, on the Reichel thing, they definitely want to give him more time to be a center.
Yeah.
They want him to, they're not just going to pull the plug on that. And as sexy as that looked at the end of the Bruins game, and that was out of necessity too, because Dickinson was out and Hall was out, and you needed someone to play up there. I like that they're sticking with him. Like, after sleeping on it a little bit, I still want Reichel at center. So here's the lines of practice today. Bedard centering Radish and Donato. Reichel centering Tyler Johnson and Andreas Athanasiou. Dickinson, Foligno, and Perry, which we know. And then Gutman, Kachuk, and then Reese Johnson and McKenzie Entwistle sort of switching off on that fourth line right wing spot. Your D pair is Vlasic Jones, Korchinski Murphy, Tenorti Kaiser. So nothing different there.
Nope.
But Taylor Radish has kind of been a non-factor so far through 2 games. Haven't seen much from him. That's the sort of guy who is going to be better playing with better players.
Yeah.
I feel like whatever sort of line he's on is what he's going to produce.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see how he will jive with Bedard.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I mean, Radish and Donato kind of have a little bit of the same kind of makeup to them. They're both kind of physically the same size. They both do kind of the same thing. So it'll be interesting to see which one takes more of the scorer role, which one takes more of the defensive role. Maybe it flip-flops just depending on the shift. Bedard is obviously the driver of that line. So, yeah, I mean, getting that opportunity to play with Bedard will be good. Hopefully he takes advantage of it, and that can build some confidence when eventually he goes back down the lineup, because he'll find himself again once Taylor Hall is back. I would think he'll find himself again back on the right side and probably back again with Tyler Johnson and Cole Gutman once also Kurashev is healthy again.
Yeah, our guy Wendy City Hockey says, why is Richardson stuck keeping Reichel with Tyler Johnson? Because they're waiting on Philip Kurashev to come back. There's very little doubt in my mind that when Kurashev is back, it's going to be Kurashev, Reichel, and Athanasiou. They were fantastic in training camp. They were really good together. The little bit they played last year, that's going to be the dynamic second line once all those guys are healthy. It's nice that Athanasiou is back with Reichel after he was further down in the lineup those first couple games because he was recovering from that illness. So
yeah, I like seeing that.
So that would be, hopefully by the time the home opener rolls around, we got that top 6 that we saw in the preseason. I don't know. Kurashev is still not with the team.
He was practicing.
He was skating on his own before the team left. So maybe when they come back after Monday's
hopefully.
game, they'll be here next week. They'll stop in, I'm assuming, for a day or two, maybe have a practice here before going back out to Denver for that game Thursday. So maybe he joins the team then, gets a couple practices in. By the time the home opener comes, he's ready to go. That would be best case scenario, I think, at this point.
We just haven't seen this team at full strength yet.
Right. Yeah. It's just amazing how it went from game 1, where we all sat in Pittsburgh saying, my God, the depth on this team is so great. And then less than 24 hours, you're like, where'd everybody go?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Well, you're so right about Taylor Hall. I mean, aside from Bedard, and I dare to even mention it, like that's the one. Those are like the 2 guys you really can't lose. Everybody else in the roster, like, okay, you can kind of squint hard and see a replacement for him there.
Yeah.
Like that's why Tyler Johnson is such a nice piece to have, because you can play him anywhere and he'll be at least replacement level. He'll be effective.
He'll give you a very consistent effort.
Yes. But like you said, Greg, Taylor Hall, there's no one on this team or in this organization that's going to be able to take his spot with any sort of permanence.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, as we talked about Connor Garland the other night, and now we're like, all right, well, he's more day to day, so maybe we don't need to think about that. I still wouldn't mind them thinking that way a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Taylor, let's be honest, like Taylor Hall has had a history of injuries. And the older he gets and the more mileage he gets, the more frequently those injuries are going to occur. And look, I know they're not competing for a Stanley Cup this year. We know that. It's year 1 of the rebuild, truly. But at the same time, you don't want to have Bedard just out there floundering with guys that just can't keep up with him and can't play with him. And to bring one more piece in, like, it doesn't have to be Connor Garland specifically, but if in a couple weeks or a month, somebody like, and it's not going to be Patrick Kane, somebody like that becomes available, I think it's something the Hawks should explore. If it's not too costly, maybe like with Garland, you think maybe you get even an asset for taking him on.
Yeah.
I think it's something you need to consider.
I would think that, Davidson and the front office group has their finger on the pulse for something like that if it comes up. But I think, once the season got underway, there really wasn't a ton kind of out there. You let the waivers right before the season start come and go, see who's available. But yeah, I mean, as far as, thinking the way the Blackhawks have when it comes to acquisitions, trades, things like that, trying to get, more assets, future assets for what you're doing. You look at the Mrazek move, the Zaitsev move, the Hagel trade, thinking all the way back to that. It's getting something else besides just the player. So sure, if Conor Garland continues to want out of Vancouver and they need to move him because they need money, money off their books, the Blackhawks should be, in the conversation as a partner. And that benefits the short term because he's on a deal that ends after next season, same as Taylor Hall, same as Ryan Donato as well. So you have those players here for the short term. You can still have that summer of 2024, or 2025 rather, be the time when like you're really looking at your books as being very open to interpretation and your roster spots opening as well. So sure, I think it should be still on the table, and I think Davidson does a good job of like knowing when to, when and where to really dig deep into what options are out there.
Yeah, I mean, if the Hall injury is not as bad as it was first thought of, and he's going to be back hopefully in a few games, maybe the Garland is not as big of a need, but there's nothing wrong with getting another skilled player on this roster for the next couple of years.
No, and you're not married to him either. If you keep him, it's like Taylor Hall.
Yeah,
he's got 2 years on his deal. Let him and see what happens.
Space is not a problem.
No,
right now.
not at all.
And
No.
he's.
The
I think
only
he's
thing
in
the
year
Blackhawks
3 of
wanted-
a 5-year deal. Garland is.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, they were talking about him. I was listening to the Wonderful 32 Thoughts podcast on the way in, and they
Number
said
2 in America.
yes, we're coming for you, Elliot and Jeff. They had mentioned that it was kind of weird that he changed agents after 2 years of a 5-year deal, and then he changes an agent. The first thing the agent wants to do is find a different team for him. Kyler Garland had a goal the other night against everybody. Had a goal against Edmonton the other night, but set up by an amazing pass by Elias Pettersson. I don't know if you saw that highlight. Just a ridiculous saucer pass that just landed right on his tape over the defenseman. If he's out there, I mean, he doesn't really hurt and he doesn't really change the timeline.
No.
And if, some people said Canucks would maybe take a contract of about the same day that expires at the end of the year. But the Hawks don't really have to do that. They want to free up cap space going forward.
You know who expires at the end of the year?
Tyler Johnson.
Well, yeah, but he's making more than Garland by like
right.
$5,000. But so that wouldn't do anything. Nikita Zaitsev, and they need a defenseman.
They need a defenseman. I mean, they need a defenseman, but yeah, Nikita Zaitsev is there.
Nikita Zaitsev also there.
And he makes less than Conor Garland.
Right. So you give him Zaitsev and 4th round pick gets it done. If you take on the entire thing,
Yeah.
you may not even have to give up. If you're
And you could eat half a Zaitsev too if you want.
If-
Not him, but his contract.
if the Hawks
You could. Yeah.
if the Hawks want him, they have the ability to just say, we'll take the whole contract.
Yeah.
You don't have to retain anything, but we're not going to give you as much.
And it's
If you want a 2nd round pick, you're retaining half the contract. If you are willing to take a 4th round pick, we'll eat the whole thing. We'll take it.
and the Hawks have 2 retained salary slots open, I think, still.
I believe that's
I'll
correct.
have to double check. But
While you check, I do have some breaking Chicago news. Some folks heard the fighter jets flying overhead.
oh yeah,
We have clarification. University of Chicago has established an ROTC.
Oh.
So there was a flyover honoring the establishment of an ROTC.
oh okay.
At
I was going to
University
say
of Chicago.
I was going to say the University of Chicago has jets now.
World War III is not
I
starting
was gonna
yet.
say, take that, Lewis University, with your flight simulator. University of Chicago's got real jets.
It's a real airport, damn it.
Hey, maybe get that out there before it happens so you don't cause a panic.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
they did that a few months ago.
Yeah.
They said there was going to be like a demonstration on the Chicago River, like don't be alarmed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe get that out there before, because I remember we went to a funeral a couple months ago at a real small cemetery in the middle of a neighborhood, and it was a military veteran. So they did the 21 gun salute.
Oh, yeah.
And they had to notify the police department, so the police department can call all the people around saying, "There's going to be some gunshots around 11:30 in the morning. Don't be alarmed."
Yeah. And then you inform all the bank robbers.
Yes.
They know when to rob the bank.
They have 2.
I've been to one of those. My wife's grandmother's sister, when she passed, she was a military wife, and they did the salute for her.
It's
And
very
it's
powerful.
very cool.
Yeah. It's
very effing loud.
It
Oh,
is.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's loud, but it's very powerful.
It is
You
a
get
cool
that
thing to
kinda-
witness.
You know what else gets me at funerals? Bagpipes.
Oh God,
Always gets me.
I love bagpipes.
They sound great.
I had bagpipes at my high school graduation.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Big fan of bagpipes.
Yeah.
Sarah, you like bagpipes?
No,
Damn it.
I don't.
Whatever.
But I have my grandpa also. He was in the military, so I've seen the gunshot thing before, and it is really cool.
It is. It's very
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
And when the soldier comes and
Puts the
presents
flag.
and then
Yeah.
like says something, it's like Jesus.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's,
ugh.
I mean, yeah.
it's powerful.
Yeah.
Like you really, like, you understand the commitment and the
Right.
The impact.
the honor that goes with the service.
Yep. Pretty cool.
All right, pivoting from that.
Anyway, so World War III has not started yet.
Yeah, the Blackhawks
We'll let you know.
do have 2 retained salary slots open. They are currently retaining $2 million on Jake McCabe for this season and next season, and that is it.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, you could use one of those in that scenario where it's Zaitsev at half for Garland and a nice pick, or you just swap them 1 for 1. Maybe you get a lower round pick, like you said, for doing it. Vancouver gets a little bit of cap relief. Blackhawks kind of improve their forward depth while addition by subtraction get rid of
Right.
Zaitsev, and then you still have 2 retained salary spots open going towards the deadline, which is, again, what the Blackhawks should be doing, should be in the position to do when they get to that point, is like, hey, we have all this cap space, 2 retained salaries open. Let's help out some teams that are looking to push towards the end of the year.
Yeah. No Roids, just Rage says Davidson needs to find a player who can be part of the rebuild picture that's able to play with Bedard. Hall isn't it, injury prone, and I doubt he plays more than 55 games this season.
Did you watch the first period? No raids. Did you watch that?
Well, I
first?
think
It was really good.
he can do it, but I think No Roids' point is he's
But also-
older, he's injury prone.
He's not saying that Hall is here beyond his contract,
Right.
which I think we all signed up for.
But I think
Yeah,
when
we
we
know
look at the free, I think it is safe to assume that they're going to be active in this coming summer's free agency.
Mm-hmm.
It is loaded with talent. Bedard is here. You could probably maybe think Nazar could be here next year, maybe 2 years. Same with Oliver Moore, probably 2 years. But I think the time to start adding pieces to the future is this summer and or next.
Next 2 summers. Will
Yeah.
be big.
next 2 summers.
Because this summer will be the Brian Campbell Christian Hue summer.
Yeah.
The following summer will be the Marion Hossa
Hossa
summer.
Summer of Hossa.
Marion
of
Hossa.
But I like
Summer of
the idea
Draisaitl.
that I do like the concept is correct, and I think that's why we all love the Taylor Hall thing made so much sense, so much sense. I think maybe we're being a little knee jerky because he left the game, but it's not like it was a tweak. He got hit hard. It was a blindside hit. Like a lot of guys would have gotten hurt on that play. So
And the
fact
fact
that
that
he's on the ice today,
Yeah.
it's a good sign. So
And the fact that he left the game and came back and then left again, you were like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to go around the league next. And then stay tuned for the end of the show. Mario, on our trip to Pittsburgh, put together this incredible vlog of our entire trip. I couldn't do that if my life depended on it. We got to see it yesterday. We are going to premiere it on the show here at the end. So make sure you stick around. If you're listening on the podcast app, we'll put the link to that video in the description. And you can go watch the video on our YouTube channel once the show is over.
Yeah, the
But if
audio
you're-
won't play.
The audio won't work very
as
well.
audio only.
So we'll remove the video audio from the podcast and then put the link in the description so you can go find it once the show is over. But stick around for that. It's great. Really takes you behind the scenes of our trip. You get to see our Airbnb, which is just fantastic. And really good
Yeah,
trip
it was
with us.
great.
My shoes are still sticky.
Loved it.
That's right.
Yeah, I honestly, I walked around my house when I got home, and there was remnants of the stick. And it was kind of gross.
Well, as long as you didn't bring any of the blood on the floor with you, you're probably
No,
fine.
I mean,
More like Sticksburg, right? That Airbnb was.
It had beds and everything.
I don't have great standards, but they were even below mine.
Oh shit!
we made it home in one
we made it
piece.
work. We weren't
I can't
there
even
very
At
long.
imagine.
least the
Yeah.
blood was dry.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And it was only by your guys' bathroom and
Yeah.
the thermostat.
And that chalk outline, you just walk around it.
It's October.
Yeah, it's
It was
spooky
just-
season.
It was Halloween.
That's
decorations.
true. Yeah,
That's
it
all
was.
That's
Yeah,
right.
maybe that's what it was. It was just
Yeah, it was
decoration.
Halloween decorations.
Sarah, I don't know if you watched our post-game show, but we were doing the FOCO read, and we were talking about how there's stuff on our set from FOCO, but there's nothing there. And I picked up this little, like, planter of, I don't know, it was like
Little
a
potted
fern or
plant,
something.
yeah.
And I picked it up and just, like, poof, it like stuck to the table.
It was stuck to the table.
It was not great.
I've cleaned these tables a few times.
Yeah, these
Thank
are
you.
nice and
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah,
The ones
I
in
was like,
Pittsburgh-
that
I've
is more
cleaned
effort
these.
that is more effort than that Airbnb got. In
Oh my
cleanliness.
God.
Unless they might clean with glue. You never know.
There was like
Sure.
there was like a 2-liter bottle war that happened in that Airbnb.
Yes.
And nobody
Yes,
cleaned
it was
up.
Yeah,
definitely
you won't get that
soda.
here. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
Thank
that's,
you.
That's
Oh
why
my
the
God.
floor was
It
sticky.
gross.
It was
but we made
soda.
it work. We survived. We got 2 great shows out of it.
I agree. Yeah, it was a
And
worthwhile trip.
4 hours of total sleep over the 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good times. Yeah. So I look forward to reliving the memories of Stickburg.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
It's the good stuff. It's gonna be fun. I hope everyone likes it.
yeah, it's great stuff. All right, tell us
You know what
about Ray.
everyone
Are
else
you-
does like?
They
Cars.
They like cars. They do like cars. And if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, we've got some great news for you. Besides Taylor Hall returning in the ice, Ray Chevy in Fox Lake has joined the CHGO team. And we were talking to our friends over at Ray, and they have this pledge called the Ray Price Promise. It's a guarantee that the price you see online is the price you're going to pay when you walk into the dealership. We found that in many cases, other dealers will raise the price on you when you come in a dealership, saying things like, are you a recent college graduate? Are you active in the military? Are you a farmer? And in most cases, the answer will be no. And that's when the other dealers will raise the price on you, saying the price online included limited rebates that you just don't qualify. Well, at Ray, that's not the case. The price you see online is the price you pay with no add-ons to that price ever. In fact, Ray will do everything possible to find additional savings for you, which may make the price even lower than what you saw online. And as one of the top selling dealers in the entire Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories. And right now, you could save big at Ray Chevy during their Truck or Treat savings event.
Nice.
I like that because Halloween's coming. Because 0% is back and now available on new Silverado trucks, the perfect tailgate vehicle. So come on in to Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake and find the vehicle you've been searching for. And best of all, pay 0 hidden fees with the Ray Price Promise. Visit Ray Chevrolet in person in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. Serving the community since 1963. Find new roads.
And if you're looking to find new tickets to some hard-to-find sporting events or concerts, check out our friends at Game Time. You should not have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you with last-minute killer deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Had a friend a couple weeks ago looking for Coldplay tickets in Seattle. I said, hey, check out this app. See what you can find. And hours later, there were some Instagram stories from my friend at Coldplay in Seattle. That's how it works. You get those last-minute tickets, those flash deals, those zone deals. So easy to find and buy for every kind of event in your area. I really like the fact that you can view the seats before you buy them. So
Yes, that's clutch.
I was thinking about going to Pearl Jam, and I was looking at the seats available in my price range, and they were all like behind the stage. I'm like, all right, well, now I know. I'm glad I didn't waste $300
That wouldn't have been a waste of money.
to not see the show. Well, I had to be the designated survivor for Chris
you
Chelios.
had to
news.
stick back.
Yeah. But the lowest price guarantee, I know our buddy Herb talks about that all the time. He found a lower price on another site, and they matched it and beat it. They have event cancellation protection, job loss protection. It's really the best place to go if you're looking for tickets to any event you want. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Nice. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Should we talk about young NHL players?
We should.
Yeah.
The debut last night of Adam Fantilli on his birthday.
Went pretty well.
I did not watch it yesterday. Mario reminded me to watch it today. The Blue Jackets posted an awesome video of Adam Fantilli in, I don't know if it was a meeting room or a movie theater. It looked like a movie theater. And everyone from his life, like, just leaving him messages. And
that was really cool.
They showed his car ride to his first ever hockey game.
That was so cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
He's going to score 1,000 goals.
And guess what? It's okay for another market to have a young, exciting player. We don't have to hate him.
I don't. I hope
Isn't
he's
that
a stud.
crazy?
I want Adam Fantilli to do well. because
Wow.
I bet the over on his 46.5 points this
He's
season.
on my
But
fa-
also,
he's on my fantasy team in my dynasty league.
Yeah.
But I also want him to do well because having a league full of exciting young good players is good for everybody.
right.
Like, I hope Adam Fantilli is a stud. I hope
Yeah.
Luke Hughes is a stud. I hope Leo Carlson is really good. I hope Logan Cooley is really good. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's exciting to see that next generation coming through because we're all still dazzled by Ovechkin and Crosby as they now are in the latter half of their careers, chasing history in multiple different ways. We all have the present of Makar and McDavid and McKinnon and Matthews and all the M names that you can imagine. And now you have
Ovechkin.
Mo Ovechkin. And now you have the next gen coming through with the Hughes brothers and the Quinn brothers and the Tkachuk brothers and Connor Bedard and
Stop talking about
Fantilli
Connor
and
Bedard.
all
Oh
these
my
guys.
God.
Well, you have all these guys coming through, so it's just like it's exciting.
It is.
I want to see all these young guys do well and carry the game, and you see, with each generation, the evolution, even just in a small sample size, 20 years. The evolution of how players are being marketed and how the game feels. Like when Ovechkin and Crosby came into the league, they were playing a different game than mid-2000s NHL hockey was. And then when Matthews and McDavid came in, they changed the game in the mid-2010s. And now I think we're seeing guys like, Bedard coming in, Jack Hughes, Trevor Zegras. Like you're seeing now another shift in how the game is playing.
And I want to
it's
give credit
exciting.
too to the league, like finally leaning in on the exciting stuff and
Yes.
the against the code, like the Michigan goal and like those sort of things. Like you're seeing commercials. I think it's the ESPN one that says like this is the new golden age of hockey,
Something like that.
and
yeah.
they're not wrong. Like you're sitting at home, you click on your ESPN Plus app, and you find a random hockey game. Most nights, you're going to be excited and entertained. There's very few of those slogs anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of offense. There's a lot of scoring. There's a lot of skill. Even on the lesser teams in the league, like the Hawks, like Columbus, they've all got a lot of talent on
Montreal, we're going to see them tomorrow night. They have a lot of good
Yeah.
young players.
it's good.
there. Yeah, it's a good thing for the game. So Fantilli last night in his debut picked up an assist, 13:40 of ice time, 2 shots, 2 more shot attempts, another missed shot, had delivered a hit, and went 5 and 5 for 50% of his faceoffs. Very solid debut. I'm surprised he didn't play more. 13:40 is a little low for.
They have.
They're pretty deep though.
Is he what, their third line center?
Because they've been playing line A at center.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Well,
Yeah,
interesting.
It's an interesting thing what's going on in Columbus because, you got Fantilli. You've got another really nice young player in Kent Johnson, but
Yeah.
he was a healthy scratch.
It's an interesting choice.
Did Mike Babcock come back all of a sudden? Like, it was weird. And our old
He
friend,
still submitted the lineup.
and our old friend
Some
Adam
stipulations.
Boquist.
Don't play that kid.
Adam Boquist was a healthy scratch too. Weird.
Yeah, and we heard that Columbus is trying to move a defenseman.
Frank Saravalli of Daily Faceoff tweeted out the other day that Columbus has an overabundance
while
of
he was
defensemen.
sitting 15 feet
Yeah.
away from us.
You showed me the tweet. You're like, "Hey, Frank." I'm like, "Yeah, don't say anything bad about him too loud because he's sitting right there."
Yeah, I did not see that he was right there.
I literally watched him send that tweet. So yeah, it's interesting things in Columbus. But I hope Fantilli does good. I hope all these young players do good because it's kind of fun because, McDavid and Matthews came into the league a year apart, and like they were the new fresh young things, while Crosby and Ovechkin were like in the prime of their career.
Yeah.
Now Crosby and Ovechkin are kind of like the old guard. They're still very good players, but they're the old guard. They're the well-respected graybeards that could still get it done. And now McDavid and Matthews are where Crosby and
They're in
Ovechkin
their
were
primes,
while
yeah.
this crop is coming in. So it's fun. Like, you always need new stuff. And the whole thing about, Bedard, too much Bedard, blow it out your ass already with this nonsense.
Yeah.
Hockey fans are the only people in the world that complain when they get attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
No other sport do their fans say, "You're showing Pat Mahomes too much. You're showing Steph Curry too much.
Yeah, right.
You're showing Mike Trout too much. Like, hockey fans want to just be this, like, no one knew. It's just us. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it already. Marketing Connor Bedard is great for the league. And I know there's a lot of other fan bases that hate the Blackhawks. And that's fine. Hate the Blackhawks. Hate whoever you want. It's your choice. But don't hate Connor Bedard, a great kid and a great hockey player, just because he plays for a team you don't like. I don't like the Columbus Blue Jackets, but I like Adam Fantilli. You know, it's fine. You can cheer for a player and hope the team still sucks.
Right.
Yeah, both things can happen.
That's true. Yeah,
But I don't understand all the complaining. And here's the funny part. You know, you get other podcasts that complain about Connor Bedard. I don't want to talk about, but then all they do is talk about him.
it's hard to escape him
Because you know why?
because he's really good.
Connor Bedard is ratings.
He is
want
ratings.
People want to hear and watch Connor Bedard, as we saw. The ratings for Tuesday night's game, the highest rated regular season game in NHL history.
On ESPN,
On ESPN.
That wasn't a Winter Classic.
Right. And then the next night, he
Sa-
set the same record for TNT.
Yep.
So the highest watch game, regular season non-Winter Classic game in ESPN history was Connor Bedard's debut. The highest watch game in TNT's regular season history, non-Winter Classic, Connor Bedard's second game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what those ratings are. Hockey night in Canada on Saturday night.
Right.
And that means that the league is doing a good job of promoting its young players.
Yes.
And look, like Bedard has probably unprecedented coverage as a draft pick, right? You had high-profile teams tanking to try to get him. He was great at the World Juniors. Yeah. He is incredibly marketable before he's even drafted. Like, they've got a little bit of a head start with him, but everybody in hockey is talking about this kid. And even if they're talking bad, even if they're, I'm so sick of this guy, you're still talking about it.
Yeah.
You're still talking about it, and it's a
watching.
good thing. It's good for the game.
You're still tweeting about him. You're still giving him attention. You're still giving the league attention.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but the next time a superstar helps the Columbus Blue Jackets do good, that gets the salary cap raised a couple $1 million a year, or the Arizona Coyotes player helps the salary cap, let me know when that happens next time.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me know if that ever happens.
The way that the league is jumping on Connor Bedard would have happened no matter what market he was going to. If it had been Anaheim, if it had been Columbus, if it had been, imagine if he was in Montreal, if it had been any market, he was going to get this attention because of the quality of player and prospect that he
In
is.
person, by the way.
And yeah,
They know that he is a
good
safe
kid.
person to invest
Yes.
in.
Yeah, and the fact that he's in Chicago is just kind of, for the league, the cherry on top, because it is a huge market, and you're going to have so many. And it is a recent fan base that has had a ton of success and a lot of following, and it's just good for the league. And you can't say the league needs to market their stars better, and then when they do jump on Bedard and show all of his highlights and be like, this is the future of the league, be like, no, get this off my screen. You can't have it both ways. Either the special players are special or no one's special. And with Bedard, he's shown so far that he can be a special player and special prospect. When you have a show like the Pat McAfee show, however you feel about him, I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but his reach is undeniable and his impact in the sports world is undeniable. When you have him on consecutive days featuring Connor Bedard and featuring the Blackhawks, that's great for not only the Blackhawks, but great for the league too, because how much airtime does ESPN or anybody else give the NHL when it's not a scheduled NHL show? Not a ton. PK Subban was on First Take talking about Bedard. Like, the fact that this is putting hockey on bigger scales, bigger platforms, is just great across the board, because it ups the visibility. It brings in new fans, even as casuals, brings in more money. The salary cap can go up. And now you're not talking about potentially teams having to sell off all these players because they can't afford them anymore after having success. So a team like Denver or a team like the Avalanche should be thrilled that the league is getting this kind of attention, because now they just signed Devin Tays to a big contract. They can keep that contending core likely together longer because the cap will have bigger jumps. It's just good for the league across the board.
Look at how many teams have started this year without a full 23-man roster. Look
Yeah.
at Edmonton and Vancouver
Yeah.
both played with 17 skaters the other night. 11 because they had to
It's
be salary cap
ridiculous.
compliant. Ottawa got a lot of their young players wrapped up for a long time. Buffalo,
Yep.
they've done, but you can't tell me you can't sit there and be an Ottawa Senators fan and be worried about what's it going to look like in 5 years from now. You know, when we've got all these guys signed up and we want to keep some of these young guys together, well, then you should be pumping every Connor Bedard video out there because more fans he brings in means the more the salary cap could go up and you can keep your young teams together. You know, it's a trickle-down effect that is good for all 32 teams in the league. And I don't understand how hockey fans are just so... I love this sport, but nobody else can watch it. It's ours and ours only. No, I want hockey to be just as big as the NBA. I want it to be just as big as the
and
NFL.
this is how you do it.
This is exactly how you do it. And to say you love the sport of hockey, but then you don't want it to get any bigger, why would you want to continue to be the butt of the jokes of all the other three sporting leagues?
Right.
Get bigger, get better, get more exciting, bring in more fans. I don't care if you got people at a hockey game that don't know what icing is. They'll learn it.
They'll
I
learn.
don't care if that they don't know the intricacies of junior hockey and they just want to see goals and they want to see a fight. That's great because you know what? Their money's green too. Take it.
And
Bring
guess
it.
what? Everyone started there.
Yes.
Right, exactly. And look at what, and I know someone on this panel is not going to like this, but look at what Taylor Swift being involved in the NFL has
huge.
done
I was just
for
about
the
to say
league.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's great for the league.
How many new
I'm tired of
fans?
seeing her, but I
Sure.
get it. I get it.
How many
Not me.
people are now becoming aware of the NFL more than they maybe were, becoming fans of football? And on the Kelsey Brothers podcast, I forget what it's called, but they had people who were huge Taylor Swift fans that showed up and sent them questions about football, and they, instead of being like, "Oh, come on," like, you know, poo-pooing it, they actually took time to explain, you know, answer those questions, explain what different rules were. And it's a way to bring in those fans. Instead of saying like, you're just here because of Bedard, get out, you know, you're not a real fan. Welcome them in.
Thank
Welcome them
you.
in. Like, do that. Like, that will make the NHL bigger. Look at what happened with the MLS with bringing in Messi. I know he's not a prospect player, but he's arguably the biggest player on the planet. And the MLS, the money that the league is making and the advertising revenue that they're making is very close to surpassing the NHL. Like, so that should be the reality check for hockey fans, is that as much as you want to say, soccer, blah, 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 the MLS is catching you. You want to be taken, you know, seriously as one of the big four in North America. You have to welcome in those fans. You have to, you know, grow that sport that way.
I heard someone say, too, the other day, I think maybe the reason the Bedard stuff seems more than it did with Matthews and McDavid, I think the Canada-U.S. thing is a factor. Also, when those guys came in, you had a one-network deal with NBC that did sports specifically when it was time for sports. Now you've got TNT and ESPN both pumping this as hard as they can.
Yeah.
You turn on the ESPN app and go to the NHL channel. It is games. It's features. It's like Bedard scores his first goal. Bedard records first assist. Bedard's, you know, all these little like Bedard featurettes, and people are like, oh my God, I can't escape this guy. You've got double the coverage with two networks.
Yeah.
Right. And now you've got at your fingertips. Social media's come a long way since Austin Matthews came into the league. I don't know if TikTok even existed then, but you go to like your For You page or whatever it's called on Instagram, and if you follow hockey accounts, every third tile is Connor Bedard, right? Like, it does feel like a lot, but look, if I go to an NFL, if I was as big into football as I'm in hockey, my page would be Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Jefferson from the Vikings. Like, it would just be, it's the same thing.
Yeah, right.
It's the same. When we were in the train on the way to, the tram from terminal to terminal in Pittsburgh, there's a kid sitting next to me, a little kid he had Jefferson on his screensaver on his phone. I'm in Pittsburgh. But you know what I mean? It's like that's what it's about now. Like the way that young people consume the game, it's about individuals.
Yeah.
I remember my cousins who are now college age, but like growing up, he had a Tom Brady jersey. Then it was always about he was a fan of the player, not so much the team, right? And that's how young people consume the games these days, right or wrong.
And Fandom is shifting that direction a lot, because I think too, a lot more fans are now a lot more aware of the inner workings of sports organizations and front offices. And I think when you get into, guys with contract negotiations or trades, or how, sales of teams go and stuff like that, like all that news is now being consumed more and more by fans, whereas maybe in the past that was just kind of like not really reported all that much. And I think people are like less and less geared towards, well, I'm going to support this team and the organization, because then it kind of feels like, well, I'm just supporting, a big company rather than the athletes and the players. So I think a lot of a generational change is becoming more of, I want to follow what player X does in their career, rather than I'm just going to strictly be, a Blackhawks fan or a Cubs fan or whatever.
Yeah, there's definitely more of a gravitation of being fans of individual players and entire teams.
Yeah.
But that also has to do with the fact that you can watch any team you want at any time.
Yeah.
There's access
Yep.
to any game at any time. If you've got the right app, you're willing to spend the money, you can watch any player you want instantly on your phone, in your house, whatever. When we were growing up,
On the toilet.
that's where I do a lot of my watching. When we were growing up, it was the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever the 3:00 game CBS told us we were going to watch, that's what we were going to watch. So you became fans of your local team because that's all you saw.
That's all you got.
Except for Monday Night Football or, the game of the week, the NBC Saturday afternoon MLB game of the week.
Yeah.
You only saw your local teams. Now, the way sports are covered, it's 24/7, and it's every team is out there, so you like the player more than the teams. At least that's what the kids do.
Well, and just a little side note too is, not that we need to get into all this, but like, is people wonder like, why don't people care about All-Star games anymore? Because of what you just said.
I could see.
I can watch any player anytime, all the
I
time.
don't need the
Right,
All-Star
yeah.
game. The All-Star
Yeah.
games as a kid, I loved the MLB All-Star game as a kid because you got to see all the best players. NHL All-Star game as a kid was great. Now it's like
I see them all the time.
and the MLB All-Star game was different because it was American League National League. That only happened in the World Series. Now
Right.
you've got that every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, and with free agency, guys are moving all over the place. But yeah, that's an off.
Can we scroll to the Glenn Quagmire question from the_Gigady's. That's great. I love that. It says also too, what helps is Bedard is literally facing teams with Hall of Fame guys and the original 6 teams. That's not by mistake either.
No.
Opening night against Crosby, not a mistake. Playing in Boston on
Their centennial.
for their centennial,
Yeah.
not a mistake. Getting Hockey Night in Canada in Montreal, and then the next game is in Toronto, not a mistake.
then
And
the
then putting
Avalanche.
them in Denver to
Oh, and then
take on
who's
the
the home
Avalanche.
opener against?
Oh, it's the defending Stanley Cup
Exactly.
champions. Not a mistake at
all
all. The
done on
league
purpose.
the league is doing this perfectly.
It's a masterful job by the NHL.
perfectly.
I've never said that in my life.
Right. There's very few things the league does perfectly.
And this one,
this is
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what else is perfect?
Tailgates.
Tailgating, the CHGO tailgates to be exact. They are the perfect way to get yourself amped up for your Sunday football festivities. We got one coming up this Sunday as the Bears take on the Minnesota Vikings, the Justin Jefferson-less Minnesota Vikings. So be sure to go to allchgo.com and get all the information you can for the tailgate. Get your tickets. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully the weather holds out. I think it will be a little bit chillier than it was the last time we had a tailgate, but it'll still be a good time. Lots of great food, lots of great drinks, lots of good activities. And if you're heading out to the tailgate, be sure to be on the lookout for X Golf at the next 3 CHGO Bears tailgates. X Golf will be there, and they will be giving away a $200 gift certificate to any of their Chicagoland locations. And you can find the nearest X Golf location to you when you go to playxgolf.com/Chicagoland. And from my understanding, X Golf is a similar to Top Golf, but it's a little bit upscale.
Oh, a little bougier?
A little bougier for your golf needs. So yeah, be on the lookout for that $200 gift certificate from X Golf. It is a giveaway that's going to be at our next 3 tailgates. So that'll be a lot of fun. Tailgates are a blast.
Yeah, they are.
And it's a great way to celebrate the CHGO community. CHGO Bears, they're doing a great job this season. A lot of people come out. A lot of people have a good time, a lot of fun. Like I said, good way to get ready for the Bears game that Sunday, and good way to be a part of the CHGO community is to become a diehard. Go to allchgo.com, get all the info on being a diehard. When you sign up, you get microphones that work, and you get
We do?
yeah, well, it helps. You get 20% off of all events and merchandise. You get amazing access to our diehard only Discord. You get access to a lot of different diehard only written content, and that's across the board, not just Blackhawks, but also Bears, Bulls, Cubs, Sox, whatever you want with your CHGO coverage. You can get it at a discount, or you can get it for being a diehard, and you get a discount on merch and events. It's a great way to be a part of the community. So go to allchgo.com, become a diehard, and support us.
And it is a Sunnyside Thursday. And on Sunnyside Thursdays, we talk about who made us feel good in Chicago sports. I'm going to give it this week to our CHGO Blackhawks community. If you missed the news,
Yes.
we are the number 4 hockey podcast in America, the number 1 team-specific, thank you, hockey podcast in America. And that's because of you. And we really appreciate it. I know there's been a ton of excitement about Connor Bedard and the Hawks this year, and our post-game shows have been rocking and huge and populated. But we can just see our numbers going up and up and up, and we want to thank all of you for helping us get to this. It's really unbelievable, and we really, really appreciate it. We want to remind you that Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your football season, just as you have elevated our podcast. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where you don't need to feel intimidated. You're going to feel welcome. You're going to feel educated. Walk around, check things out, ask questions. They're going to have everything you need to make you feel secure in your purchase. And no matter where you are on your journey, Sunnyside has your back. Easy online ordering and in-store pickup is available, and they've got their great loyalty program called Sunnyside Rewards. Check out my favorite brands at Sunnyside. Mindy's, just absolutely wonderful edibles that just make you feel like you took a warm bath, chill out on the couch, pop one of those, put a movie on, and just sit there and chill. And if you have trouble sleeping like me, those Good News Counting Sheep gummies are absolutely clutch. Wonderful things that help you sleep through the night, which is something I've never really had the ability to do. But other great brands like Cresco, High Supply, FloraCal, Wonder, Remedy, all wonderful, all in that Sunnyside house of brands. And now through October 15th, so hurry up. Head to sunnyside.shop. Use that code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. That's one use per customer, not stackable with other promotions, but it's not only for new customers. Anyone can use that code. Pick up everything you need to elevate your football season. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois MedCard holder. All right, do you want to set up your production piece here, Mario?
Sure. So we had this microphone.
There we go.
Golly. Okay. So we had a lot of people saying that, hey, you guys should definitely, do some documentation of your trip to Pittsburgh. Would have loved to have seen, some stuff from your trip to Nashville. And we did have stuff documented from our trip to Nashville. It just kind of got lost in the shuffle of all the content that it wasn't able to be posted and all that stuff. So I tried to take it upon myself to document the trip. And this is just something that, I think gives you a little behind the scenes look at the trip, our process, our experience, gives you some insight to the access that we have to the team. And I hope you all enjoy it. It's about 11 and a half minutes, so get comfy. And let's roll the tape.
Well, and before we do, if you're listening to the...
Hold on.
Never mind.
Oh, boy. Greg's got something to say.
I was just going to say, if you're listening to the audio-only version...
Yes.
We're going to put that link in the... So head over and watch the video. It's worth your time, because now it's just going to skip to the end of the show if you're on.
Yes, we'll see you in 5 seconds on the podcast.
All right, sorry about that.
What's up? It's Mario with CHGO Blackhawks. We're going to be chronicling this trip to Pittsburgh to see the not only debut of Connor Bedard, but the debut of the new look Chicago Blackhawks as they take on the Pittsburgh Penguins to open up the 2023-2024 regular season. This is a day that we have been waiting for a very long time, and we are excited to bring you along for the journey. So I am currently in my car. It is 2:30 p.m. on Monday, October 9th. I'm gonna have to head over to Greg's house so we can rendezvous and head over to the airport, where Jay Zawoski is already there waiting for us because he's someone that likes to be early to the airport. So we're on our way, and couldn't be more excited. Let's go. How excited are you to go to Pittsburgh, Jay?
I'm excited for the hockey season to start. That's what I'm excited about. But I've heard good things about the food there. I'll be seeking sandwiches, pierogies, and other Pittsburgh delights.
Sounds good. Greg, how excited are you?
Can't you tell? I'm just oozing with excitement right now. This is the worst part. Just get on the plane already.
Jay just told us there's big sandwiches there. Of course I'm excited. This is gonna be my weekend.
It's your moment.
Week. Yeah, this is it.
Time to get on the plane. One, two, three. Clink.
Yeah. It's almost like they want you to only read it.
Look at the thing I just wrote for it.
The point of that was they were trying to it's the easiest thing.
From here, it looks great.
One was in, one traffic draw.
I had to like change the order and stuff a few times, so if it stops making sense, let me know. I'm a little bit tired.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, October 10th, just after 8 o'clock. I'm the first one up of the CHGO crew, and couldn't really sleep last night. Too excited about today and the start of the Connor Bedard era in Chicago Blackhawks hockey history. We are just about 12 hours away from puck drop. Got a busy day ahead of us, so I'm gonna do a good deed here. Go on a coffee run for the boys. Get the day started well. And I want to remind you all, start your day off well with 3 words to live by. Guys, any quick thoughts as we start our day?
I need coffee.
I need coffee.
I offered coffee. No one wanted coffee.
It's still asleep.
Excuses.
And food. Lots of food.
you.
Anything else I can grab right now for you?
Excellent. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Amazing.
That's a quick one, 18 seconds. And then move on Bedard picking the spots. And Davidson on Cortez and on Cortez.
I mean, tonight, I'll take a 4-point counter.
Hello, hockey fans. Welcome to PPG Paints Arena.
We are leaving PPG Paints after the second period so that we can head back and do the post-game show.
Thanks for all your help, man. We appreciate it. Hi, zero, please.
There we go.
Mario?
Check 1, 2, 3. The Blackhawks are 1-0.
Perfect.
Jay, thoughts as we were about to enter the winner's lounge?
So excited. I can't wait to talk to people right now.
Yes.
People are so psyched, and they should be. That was an awesome game. Awesome night.
Awesome night. All right, wrapped up our first post-game show of the season. How are we feeling?
Exhausted.
Exhausted?
Our flight is in what, 5 hours?
5 hours, yeah.
5 hours, yes. We have to leave for the airport in less than 4 hours.
Are we going to sleep tonight?
I don't know.
I'm gonna try.
I'm
gonna
gonna
try.
have some
It's not
sleep,
gonna work, but
but hey, no rest for the weary. We got another post-game show tomorrow.
Yep, that's true.
can't wait.
Steven, are you
Thursday
sleeping
is when
tonight?
we can all
I'm
pass
so
out.
hungry and so tired.
You're always hungry.
Yeah, I am always hungry.
All right, I guess I'm staying up by myself. You guys have fun. Hello. We're at the airport. It is, where's the clock? I don't even know. 6:20 in the morning. If you don't tell by my eyes, I have officially been awake for 24 hours. And yeah, I'm just standing on the moving walkway because it's all I can do to entertain myself is to stay awake before we board this flight. How you doing? We are almost home. Almost putting a cap on the trip to Pittsburgh for the first game of the Blackhawks regular season, which was a win, 4-2 over the Penguins. Absolutely worth it. Awesome trip. Cannot wait to get home. Cannot wait to go to sleep. That's all I'm thinking about right now. Blackhawks are 1-0. They just slowly scooted past about 100 people waiting for a flight. I haven't felt this tired since my daughter was born. And I'm coming to the end of the walkway, so I'm coming to the end of the video. Come on, guys. Woo. Woo, Pittsburgh. About to get on the flight and go back home. and do it all over again. Yeah. Ooh, Pittsburgh.
So damn tired. That's it.
He's done.
I'm happy to be home. I want my own bed and my own bathroom.
Final thoughts.
Glad to be home. I went Greg's bed and Greg's bedroom. Well done, Mario.
Very good stuff.
Very good.
I could
That
never
was
do anything
amazing.
like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job. That was
a
great.
fantastic video.
That was great. If you are listening on the podcast, that video is available on the CHGO YouTube. There is also going to be a link in our description of this podcast as well. So make sure you go check out that video. Seriously, Mario put 100% of the work into that video and deserves 100% of the credit. It was awesome. So hopefully you enjoyed that as much as you enjoyed the Hawks win on the first night of the season. I know I did.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not that much, but close second.
Close second. That was a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, I'm glad you did that.
who's got the next read?
Me.
Hey.
There you go.
Hey, speaking of things we enjoy, besides awesome behind-the-scenes videos, we enjoy sports gear and sports merchandise, or Spurch. Spurch. And as you can see on our set, we've got some bobbleheads and all kinds of fun stuff all around us in our studio, sent to us by our friends at FOCO, who do have a Connor Bedard bobblehead on their website for pre-order. So
yeah,
go ahead.
it is
Go to
available.
foco.com and pre-order yourself that Connor Bedard bobblehead. Hopefully we're going to have one of those on our sets sooner rather than later if you're listening, FOCO. So get fitted out in all the best sports gear around. They've got hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. It's fall. Football's here. You can get your Aloha shirts, straw hats, hockey polos, bags, everything you need for a game and for a tailgate.
Bears overalls.
Yes, get some Bears overalls. Maybe they got some Blackhawks overalls on there. Not necessarily banana hammock season, depending on where you live,
Yeah.
but now might be the time to save big money on the banana hammock for next summer.
True.
This is when you buy, just like buying, your Christmas decorations in January, buy your banana hammocks in October. So check out foco.com or click on the link in the podcast description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO and FOCO is going to take 10% off. Check them out.
And with that money you save on your FOCO items, you can spend it on delicious Goose Island beer. They are the proud beer sponsor of us here at CHGO, and they have been Chicago's beer since 1988. And they have a tremendous year-round beer roster that includes the Full Pocket Pills, the entire family of Beer Hug IPAs, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, cousins, stepbrothers, all those beer hugs. They're all in the family. And, of course, the golden cans of 312, the staple of their year-round beer roster. You can get all of these beers and plenty more at their 2 Chicago locations. You can go to their Goose Island Original Brewhouse on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or you can go to their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. That is the Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. And be on the lookout for the Blackhawks Pale Ale.
Yes.
That will be coming to shelves soon.
Can't wait for that.
There they are.
All right, before we wrap up, we got some super chats to knock out. We're going to do that right now. First one from USM0506, giving us $2 for mentioning Patrick Kane and adding an extra $1. So he's got credit. Good.
Paying
Good
it
thinking.
forward.
Yes.
That's how you do it. Windy City Hockey with a $5 super chat says congrats needs to be given to Seabrook as he was named coach to
Yes.
Canada for the World Juniors.
Brent Seabrook, management team. Management team for Team Canada for the upcoming World Juniors. Good for him. Seems like he's trying to get a leg up on a management position once his retirement is official at the end of this season.
Yep. And then Steven with a $50 super chat congratulating us for
you.
Thank you,
our
Steven.
top 4 finish last week in
keep it
American Hockey Podcast. So, yeah, keep that
Steven.
going.
Go for number 3 this week.
That would be great. Let's keep that momentum
Go for number
going.
1.
And we do that with your help. So thank you again to all of you who got us there and continue to elevate us every damn week. We are back tomorrow. Hawks and Canadians. We've got pregame before the game
Pre-game and post.
and postgame after the game. So we'll
5:30 pregame? 6 o'clock?
It's a 6 o'clock game, I
Yeah.
believe.
So
5:30 pregame.
5:30 pregame, and then right after we'll be back on. Can't wait.
Don't miss it. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Thanks to Sarah for running the show today. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk to you Saturday night on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.